Frederic, how you doing, my friend?
Pretty good. What about
We
you,
see each
Chris?
other in person now.
All good?
Twice
Long time no see.
yeah.
5 days, just 5 days.
Yeah. How you been?
I miss you. We're pretty good.
I missed you too. I was like, I wasn't gonna come, but I was told that you were here. So I was like,
Goes to my house. You are too kind.
book
Thank you
the
very
train.
much. I'm sure.
How was your session? You did a session around from bold vision to future-driven growth.
Yeah, indeed.
Talk a bit more about that.
Yeah, it was about explaining the transformation we have been going through over the last 10 years, starting from the statement of our CEO back then in 2016, when he stated that we will stop selling cigarettes over time, and how we got there by changing the business model, the operating model, the ways of working, bringing new skills on board. And while doing that, the culture took a bit of a setback because it wasn't the priority back then. You cannot change everything in one go. And the idea was to share how we brought back culture within the organization by involving people and the way we wanted that to be set up. So it went pretty well. Good energy in the room.
And on that journey is when you've been on this journey with the PMI DNA,
Yeah,
right? Can
indeed.
you talk a bit more about that?
Yeah, PMI DNA is just the codification of what our culture has been over the last decades. And because the fact that the operating model has had a big influence on the way the job gets done at PMI, i.e. Not being vertically driven, but working through project-based organization much more horizontally, we had to reset a bit some key values. For example, the collaboration that was needed not only because we wanted to be kind to each other, but it was a business imperative. We had to ensure that people were self-aware with their own strengths and weaknesses, and demystifying that the superhero doesn't exist anymore, and going to the C-suite acknowledging that we have few flaws was actually encouraged, which 15 years ago was almost unheard of. And that went live pretty good thanks to the employees' voice in the company. We co-created a culture by involving roughly 350 people from different background, ethnicity, religion, tenure, seniority, that help us to codify really what the values stand for and which behaviors we were putting behind the three key values: we care, we're better together, and we're game changers.
Yeah.
So all these values were then embedded into the employee life cycle from pre-hiring to retiring. And it became the license to operate in the company, making sure that everybody knows what they have to improve. And similarly, while we explain what good looks like, we wanted people to understand what bad may look like. We call that the undesirable behaviors. We have 9 of them. And at time,
Why is it important? Why was it important for you and the team to label that and share that? Because most companies don't.
Yeah, because life is not every day rosy, right? So we cannot pretend that everything will go well, and we just need to define the framework within people can play. And as soon as they cross the framework, they are offside. I'm a big fan, football team player. Offside is not feasible in the organization. We call that the rule of the house. We call that the license to operate. And we have few people that went a bit off track, being bullish, taking ownership on stuff they didn't do it, blaming others for mistake they did. And that is yellow cards. And at time it became red card, meaning people were on the bench, actually outside of the company.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. The idea is not to be on a witch hunt, just to set the tone of what is acceptable, what is not. There is no negotiable on how you behave, on you lead in the company.
Yeah.
So that's
And
why
I suppose it's like radical transparency and
is.
radical candor, because then
Radical
there's
candor.
no confusion for someone to say, "Oh, I didn't know,"
correct.
or even super transparent.
All right. All right. The CEO called that the rule of the house. I call that the license to operate. So people, everyone knows where they can start and where they have to stop. And if people are irresponsible to go beyond the boundaries, they expose themselves
Yeah.
with the consequences. Now, it's not about firing, it's counseling, it's coaching, but there are mistakes that are not acceptable in the company. There is no second chance.
Yeah. How do you ensure that these the values and the culture are not just a poster on the wall, but shows up in the work itself?
Very good question. I had that question at the beginning when we started engaging with our employees. They were telling me we used to have the energies that was kind of business values. What proves that what you're coming with will be sustainable? I think that the answer would have been different if I would have come with corporate values top down. The fact of the matter, we came with the idea to codify the company culture, but it was a bottom-up exercise. When you look at these values and behaviors, these are values that you can apply with your family, neighbor, friends, colleagues, peers, teams, bosses. And they actually, it became a grassroots movement in the company. So my team doesn't need to push anymore. It became like the currency on how we behave in the company, up to the boardroom, up to the C-suite. And we had the strategic reviews over the last 2 weeks, OB budget cycle soon. The values that as they exist at PMI became the point of reference to describe how people work among each other. And future will tell me if I was wrong or right, but I'm very confident these values will stay over time because they are universal values, agnostic of time.
Yeah, or technology. Because there'll always be
technology.
Yeah.
And you're right, because
yeah.
when we go with AI, I think that the job that was done 2 years ago is what I call the line of defense to deploy at scale responsible and ethical AI. People know exactly what you can do, can't do on AI around the framework defined by the PMI DNA.
Yeah.
We have been working hand in hand with IT and the Chief Technology Officer. And this is a beautiful framework to start scaling AI in the company.
Yeah, I think it's important, right? Because it gives you like a solid foundation and something to operate from.
Yeah.
And then you can say, if this isn't aligned with this, the answer is no.
Correct.
It's very simple. Because otherwise you could just be this new shiny directions and objects to go. If this is not aligned,
correct,
it's very easy to get caught up in the noise. Right?
Because that's the deal, the contract.
Yeah.
The license to operate, which I like the word quite a lot. And that time, even if we believe that we're going to get great outcome, but if it doesn't fit with the intrinsic value of the company, we step back, put on pause.
I don't think we spoke about this in our last conversation. How have you transformed your own team to be prepared for this, I'd say, new world of work? We're already in it right now. So to ensure that your team have the right skills and competencies to lead this transformation.
You mean on the cultural elements?
And the technology element.
Yeah.
Because HR is really leading the way in a lot of it. So both. And they're both just as important.
Yeah. Well, I'll give you a rather straight answer. I think that within my exec team, if people don't understand the need to embrace AI or tech rather soon, they won't deserve the seat at the table, right? So what we're trying to do with the growth mindset across the company is to instill this learning curiosity, ability to challenge status quo, don't take as granted when management is coming with, upskill people, reskill people. And I expect my leadership team to embrace that at the get-go. Otherwise, who are we to walk the talk, right? So it's not credible.
Yeah.
So we came with a bit of a drumbeat on AI, and we have a plan for the next 3 years. Technology will help us to go faster or to slow us down. But we have this drumbeat every month where I take my head of AI for HR in charge of global processes to put gentle pressure on all of us starting with me to see where we stand versus the commitment we took with the C-suite and the board. And that is helping us to stay on our toes and to revisit the plan, adjust the plan, scale up the plan, scale down the plan, depending on what is available from a tech standpoint. And depending as well if the global processes are streamlined enough to allow AI to penetrate. So it's not a one-off, it's a gymnastic that we need to exercise day in, day out.
But listen, I appreciate you coming on.
Likewise, Chris.
Always
Thank you very much.
Chat.
Thank you for your time. I appreciate it. Thank you.